Not only the illegal migration into the UK continues to increase, we have a different problem now because the size of the boats are also increasing. In case you misheard me, I didn't mean the number of boats. The actual size of these boats are getting bigger and bigger. It's brilliant to see how the border force, whose job is supposed to be to protect the borders, their original excuse at the time was, these are tiny dinghies, we can't see them. And the French authorities were soon saying the same thing. Well, we have some new videos showing how big the new boats are. And they've been multiple massive boats. And you can probably fit in about, 40, 50 people in a very, very dangerous way against health and safety measures. But it's absolutely weird. Let's look at this video that we have from one of the boats. Oh, that was way too loud. So it was a promotional video that they posted on social media, on Instagram and TikTok. It's also fascinating how brave they are. How they are operating openly and publicly. These criminal gangs, they're no longer hiding. They're just literally in plain sight because they know that the French authorities aren't doing anything about them. The Brits are not doing anything about them, the authorities. But Keir Starmer wants to do something about it. Keir Starmer wants to get tough. Ooh. Oh, Keir. Oh, dear Keir. The problem with this is that it's not really about the people smugglers because the business will always exist. If demand is high, and Britannia is a great country for a lot of people to come into, there's this obsession with people coming here rather than France, right? So the supply will be there. So the more you arrest a couple of people smugglers, there's demand, there will be a new version, new group. So you have to make this country less attractive for those coming to seek asylum, allegedly. Now, this is what Nigel Farage said about Keir Starmer getting tough.
So Starmer's going to get tough. We're going to treat the trafficking gangs as if they are terrorists. We're going to take the lead in Europe. Goodness me, I've heard that before. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to sign back up to Europol, not Interpol, no, Europol, the EU's own police force. And we will take our share of asylum seekers crossing the Mediterranean, coming in to the European Union. We'll be signing up for the EU refugee programme, something we weren't even in as members of the European Union. And given that yesterday 6,800 people landed in Lampedusa, Italy alone, I suspect the number, even if the boat stopped, the numbers coming would be even bigger than now. We're going back into EU programmes he won't solve.
This is insane. So there's one thing about the Europol thing, which is it's not really the most competent organization considering what's been happening over the last few years. Second issue, those Ramonas who say, oh, you voted to leave the European Union, what happened to Brexit taking back control? So this is the whole point of Brexit. Brexit, leaving the EU, meant it will be now up to our country and our government to be competent or incompetent. Now, we got unlucky, we got incompetent governments since Brexit, but all this has happened by being outside. But Keir Starmer wants to take us back in when it comes to the migration programs, so the EU refugee programs. One of the problems that we have is that we are part of the UN Migration Pact, the UN Refugee Convention. So on a UN level, this is already causing problems. Imagine what's going to happen if you then add to it EU versions, EU programs. I mean, this is not really helping. One of the other issues is ECHR. Now you say, okay, we have an option, either leave or integrate even further so we could share the so-called asylum seekers with other countries. But it's not based on fair sharing. Firstly, we voted to take back control of the borders. Why are we even thinking about this? Why is Keir Starmer even considering to say this? Is he actually, by the way, going to write it officially in the manifesto? I know we don't trust manifestos, but it's still one of the few things we have as a written document of what that party or party leader is going to be doing if they win power. So is he actually going to be honest with the public and write it in his manifesto, or is he going to hide it and then do it when he's Prime Minister, if he's Prime Minister? So it's a very sensitive area right now, and we have a year to go to the next election. No one trusts the Tories anymore, but doesn't mean that the Labour Party is a solution either. Let me know what you think. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.